Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember the liberation of the German concentration and extermination camp at Auschwitz-Birkenau 77 years ago. We look back on the worst crime against humanity ever committed, the Shoah, the murder of 6 million European Jews, and the senseless deaths of millions of others victims of the Nazi terror. They died at the hands of German officers and soldiers. They were turned against and often betrayed by former friends, colleagues, or neighbors. German civil servants decided and planned their deaths. The Wannsee Conference, which took place 80 years ago last week, reminds us of this. A genocide planned and perpetrated in cold blood. A death sentence for millions of men, women and children set out in bylaws and paragraphs. A monstrous evil presented as normality in a way that seems to defy all logic and reason. And yet, here lies an important lesson. We must never stop seeing each other as what we are. Friends, colleagues and neighbors, fellow human beings whose fates are intertwined on this planet that we share. The Nazi regime tried to reduce people to numbers. In the video we just saw, the numbers burned into the arms of Kitty Hart-Moxen and her mother in Auschwitz. But Kitty, her mother and the millions of others who were persecuted, tortured and killed were not numbers. They were people with hopes and dreams just like us. People with the same right to be treated with dignity and respect, and the same right to live their lives in peace and freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, 77 years is the lifespan of a generation. Soon it will be 80, 90, 100 years since the end of the Holocaust. Soon we will have to live without the testimonies of the last survivors and eyewitnesses. And yet we must not let their memory fade. We owe that to those who were murdered. We owe it to those who survived and bravely carried the burden of their painful memories. But we also owe it to ourselves. We who want to preserve our humanity by remembering our past, who want to make sure that history does not repeat itself. I say this with deep concern. Anti-Semitism, hate speech, agitation against Israel and violence against Jews are on the rise in Germany and in many other countries around the world. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen disinformation and conspiracy theories seeping from the internet into people's minds. And we have witnessed the memory of the Holocaust being distorted on our streets, for instance by protesters against COVID measures wearing yellow stars with the word unvaccinated. So let me be very clear. Anti-Semitism has no place in our countries. Free and open societies cannot let the enemies of freedom act as they please. That is why we must combat all forms of anti-Semitism, discrimination, racism and extremism everywhere. Germany bears a special responsibility for this, and we are grateful to all of you who help us live up to this responsibility. Together with Israel, we have worked towards a recent UN resolution that condemns Holocaust denial. I can think of no greater honor than standing shoulder to shoulder with our Israeli friends on this. Last year, we worked with many of you to found a global task force against Holocaust distortion. And I'm deeply grateful to the United Nations and UNESCO for their work to spread knowledge and to fight anti-Semitism, racism and extremism all over the world. It is a fight against evil, evil that is often disguised as normality. But it is also a fight for our shared humanity. Thank you very much.